Yeah, I've started the recording 10 minutes. Fine. Okay, so as I was saying, do do ask any doubts if you have taken regarding yesterday's class and anything in general as well. Okay, we'll answer that and we'll move ahead with the class. Okay. So it'll be what we are planning is from 8 o'clock. But if you guys need it from 8:30, then it's fine as well because many people are working, right? So they might like to people who are working, it might be more feasible from 8:30. So yeah, I'll definitely give a quick recap of everything that was taught yesterday. Don't worry. So let more students join. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I was on mute. Actually, I was waiting for more people to join. Uh, no, guys. Are you guys finding? Are you guys thinking that the class is from 8:30? Okay, let me just note. Let let me just put an announcement if that is the case. So yesterday it was told that it is 8:30. That's the reason. Okay, we'll see, guys. We'll see. Don't fight over the time. We'll see whichever is feasible. Okay. So I said that I'll open a poll, and based on the most people expectations, we'll do it. Okay, don't worry. Okay. So cool. So don't fight. Let's stop that. Okay. So shall we get started? Yeah. So to the people who are missed, they can. Okay. Okay. So we can discuss the yesterday's topic. Don't worry. Okay. Before that, do you guys have any doubt? Anything in general? Not just hash map. Anything in general regarding the course, regarding placements or anything? Yeah. Ask Mubarak. I'll repeat the yesterday's topic. Don't worry. I just want to talk with you guys before that. Is my screen visible, guys? Right. So I'll repeat whatever we just. We'll have a quick recap. Okay. And with that, we can get started with today's class. I've prepared a doc as well, and I'll share that. Okay. Yeah. So Zoom link is put in the chat box, man. Yeah. Any doubts? Any doubts before we start? Any doubts before we start? Anything you want to talk? Yeah. So Arundhati is asking if there's a difference between hash map and hash table. Okay. So as I said, like hash map is very specific to Java. Okay. So I mean Java collections. Okay. So if you guys know, okay. So let me just write it here. So if you guys like, if at all you guys are doing coding in C++, you guys must be aware of something like this map, right? So I can just put an int and an int, right? And I can write MP equals to new map. So this is how I do it in C++. Okay, and I can, like, instead of just putting, instead of having it as a methods mp.put, I can just directly have something like this. Okay, so this thing does is it will create something like this. Key will be here, value will be here, right? And 5 will be mapped to 10. So this is how the mapping happens in C++. Okay, so every language has its own framework where these such a data type uh, is declared, right? So if at all I write something like 15, the 7 will be mapped to 15, right? So if at all instead of integer, if I have something like string, so this is C++. I'm talking about C++. Okay, so if at all I have something like this map, right? So you can write something like Uday is equals to 15, right? So in the key value pair, you will be having string as Uday and 15 as the value. So this is how the map is created in C++. Okay. So if at all I write something like Uday plus plus, okay, so then 15 will be overridden by 16 value because it is, we are doing plus plus, right? So this is so simple, right? This is of C++. Okay. So I'm just telling you guys, because like such a data type is really necessary, and every language has its own way of implementation. Okay. So this is not Java, this is C++, right? So the people who are able to do it, they are able to recollect. To the people who know about the Python ka dictionary, they are able to relate to it as well. Correct. So this is the same thing as, yeah, syntax थोड़ा कम है, हाँ. You can directly assign. So this is put value, है ना? Get के लिए you can directly use this. This is get, whatever the whole get, and this is update kind of thing. Correct, guys? And I can write something like mp.count, Right? Such methods are there in C++ as well. It is more simple, right? So hash map is very specific implementation of a map using the hashing technique. Okay. Whereas hash table is hash table is basically like key and hash value ka table. Okay. So like whatever query happens, that will happen in hash table, because that is the table where you can like constantly you can reach at a particular key and look at that value. Okay. So this is an like hash map and are all are a systematic way in which a particular data structure is been implemented by their own collections. Okay. So this is called STL. In C++, you have something called STL, that is standard template library. Right? In Java, you have Java collections, right? It's the same thing, okay, but different syntax. Correct? So like I'm not telling this to confuse you, but I'm just making you realize that is a very language specific thing. Hash map is a very language specific thing, but hashing is a complete general thing. Okay, it's a actual algorithm, right? So that is what I'm telling. Yeah. In map, there is an ordered, but in Java it is not. Correct, Mohit? Okay, but there is a way where you can make the map ordered in Java. I'll tell you in a like while you're ending this module 3, when the trees will be done, I'll be telling you about a ordered map in Java as well. Okay, just wait for it. Okay. Yeah, tree map, correct. Okay, cool. So let me just start it again. So do you guys have any other doubts other than this? Anything other than this? I explain why time complexity of hash map is constant. So that is what I've been doing yesterday. The whole class is based on that. So while revision, I'll be doing that. So when will placement starts? Okay, so guys, like module 3, after module 3, you'll be entering the placement module, that is module 4, where you'll be doing the actual placement preparation, where you'll be learning the theory, okay, like DBMS, OS and all, take networking and all. Okay, and after that, like you'll be doing the projects as well. Then the company starts to come from AccuJob. You'll be like everything will be happening in Discord. You'll be applying for the companies. Okay. So like my advice is to complete all the modules. Okay, don't you're right now learning, right? So don't bifurcate now. Okay, if there's very limited time for your preparation, and if at all you are supposed to choose between the topics because there's a limited time, then you can bifurcate ki this topic is not that important. But right now every topic is important. Every topic is important. Every like you might be really unlucky, and the topic which you missed might be asked in an interview for you. Okay, and you might not be able to answer it, and that might make you lose a job that is kind of a dream job for you, right? So don't make such mistake, at least in the initial stage. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll do that, guys. Just wait, just wait. The questions which you are asking about the time complexity and all, that will be covered in the recap of yesterday's class. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure, man. Anish, I'll do that. I know how to teach. So basically, I was telling about the usual things, the starting things, which are important as well. Okay. So just keep these in mind. And with that, we started the hashing yesterday. Okay. So what is hashing? Okay. Hashing is a technique. So I've explained what is a data, right? So uh, data is basically like a uh, oil for the like just like the oil that is present in the industrial revolution. Now the data is really important for the IT like in the modern age, right? Because there's a lot of abundance in the data, and like we as an engineer are supposed to use the data in the proper way, such that we are able to like get the maximum out of it. All the efficient algorithms, the data structures, that's the reason they are prepared. Okay. Okay. So so that's the thing which I've explained yesterday. So like all the things you have learned, binary search and everything, with every topic you're learning, you're trying to reduce the time that you're getting to get optimizing the way you're handling the data, So similar way, hashing is also a technique to efficiently find or store an element. Okay. So I explained that using that. First I was explaining the technique called hashing. Okay, what hashing actually is. So hashing is basically generating a key value pair. It's generating a key value pair. I'm not talking about maps. Okay, don't confuse. Okay. So if you provide a key to a hashing function, it will give an output. Okay, which will be an value. Okay. So the hashing function could be anything. Okay, you can define your own hashing function. For example, I've defined this as an hashing function. Whatever that number is, us number ka I'll be create a hash value. Okay. For example, 41 ka hash value is 1, 10 ka hash value is 0, right? So at that hash value, I can reach that hash value in constant time. Just understand that hash value. Abhi ke liye, understand it as address in a particular memory. As a samajh. Just like you're able to reach an index in an array in a constant time, right? If I say A of 3 mein pahuncho, how much time will it take? Will it keep on going one after the other, or will that take only constant time, guys? Tell me. Guys, it will take constant time, right? Because that's how indices are. Okay? So that's how arrays are. Okay? So abhi ke liye, if you want to understand how this thing is happening, okay? So you'll be understanding it in bit manipulation. So every integer is of 4 bytes, right? So like this initial address has been stored, okay, in the name of array, right? And if you write something like this, so after 3 into 4, that is 12 bytes, what is that address? You'll be reaching that instantly, right? So that is how it is done, right? You will be reaching to a particular reference in a constant time. Okay. So understand key hash value pay you can reach on constant time. Okay. So that's how it is written. Okay. So I've made this hashing function, but I've seen that two values. So even this value is giving the same hash value, even this value is giving the same hash value, right? So that particular condition is called collision, right? When two keys or more producing the same hash value. Okay. So when if at all collision is there, then there is a method that is like there are multiple methods to handle the collision. One is chaining. Okay. Chaining matlab multiple values can be chained to a same node. Correct? Correct. So that is chaining. Like for example, instead of just one integer, I can maintain a linked list. Okay. So I can just store the values in here. So basically, so if at all I choose this as a hashing function, I'm doing nothing but dividing the whole search space into 10 buckets. Okay. And most probably I'll be reaching each bucket in constant time, right? And like I can search them, like I can perform linear search also. It's fine, but the search space got reduced, right? So that is the main point of hashing. Okay. You're dividing it into buckets, which you can reach in constant time, and you will continue search in such a way that the search space got reduced to a great extent. Okay. So that is basically hashing. Okay. So you have something called chaining to resolve the collisions, right? You can like 285 के बाद 45 को ऐसे लगा सकते हो, उसके बाद 35 को लगा सकते हैं, right? In that way. To the people who are not getting, like, you're welcome to just unmute yourself and just let me know. We can have a conversation regarding it, what you actually didn't understand. Okay, if something very specific you're not understanding, okay, if there's anything very specific that you're not understanding, then I'll be able to help you in a much better way, right? Correct. Raviteja, you're correct. Okay. So you are saying ki to store it into different buckets, right? To store it into the values, you need to traverse the array once. Okay. That is anyway there. Okay. Big O of n to lagega to traverse the whole array once. So this comes under the pre-computation. Okay. So the hashing will always be beneficial to you. Okay. Only if it's not just one case, like when there are queries that are happening. Okay. So for example, you will be traversing the array once for big of n time, right? And from the next time, you're just been randomly asked you what is this, if this is present or not, if this is present or not. Likewise, 10 power 6 or 10 power 7 times you're been asked if this is present or not, if that is present or not, if that is possible or not. Then the hashing will come into handy because each query will be taking big of one time after this is being created once. Okay. So one time you need to create it, and later for 10 power 6 times or 10 power 7 times or how many number of times, it will be just a constant time. Correct? Yeah, I know, Vipin. So this is a kind of theoretical thing regarding the hashing, which I'm teaching you. Okay, it's not necessarily if you just use the hash map blindly as if you're using a map. Okay, then there is no like you won't be having any problem. But this is a kind of theoretical thing which you need to know. See how the hashing is working, how the hash map is working. Correct, Vipin? I told you that these things are not, you're not going to write a chaining code, you're not going to write a collision handling code. Okay, but I'm saying these are present internally inside the hash map. Okay, so okay, after that, see, I've told you about multi-level hashing. Okay, if at all the collisions happen, okay, then how you can further divide it based on the second character, how you can further divide it based on the third character, right? So in that way, you can do the multi-level hashing as well, right? So I told you about the ideal hash function key. Every value producing the unique value, that is called the ideal hash function, right? Because there will never be any collisions in an ideal hash function. Okay. So this is about the hashing. Then we came to mapping. What is mapping? So map is basically mapping one entry to another entry, right? So it could be of anything, right? It could be of key value pair. Okay, so मतलब एक key होगा, एक value होगा, ठीक है? This key, using this key, you can identify that value in constant time. Uh, that is about mapping, right? That is mapping, right? So you can map an integer to a student. You can map a string to an integer, right? Any object to any other object. Okay, integer is nothing but a int ka object. Correct. So you can do this thing. See, you have a roll number, your marks hoga, फिर name hoga. That way. Is this making sense, guys? Right. So I'm just revising the class. Don't worry, guys. I didn't teach anything new. So I'm just revising the class. So this is about mapping. So this is basically really most practical data structure ever, right? Because you'll be seeing this thing regarding the roll numbers, the marks, and the names, right? So you'll be seeing these things. You'll be seeing the examples of mapping everywhere, right? एक account number के साथ एक customer का profile होगा, like आधार card के साथ person का identification, the biometric के साथ the person का आधार number and everything, right? So such things you can find them very widely. Correct. So that is about mapping, right? So then comes hash map, right? So in hash map, so hash map is basically a Java collection ka class hai, okay, which you are going to use as a map, right? So this particular thing contains of two names, right? One is hash, another one is map, right? So if at all, so what is map? The key value pair, right? But hash, because you're able to access that particular key value pair in a constant time. That is the reason why hashing happens. Okay. So I explained it yesterday. For example, if at all 5 is been mapped with 10. Okay. So 5 is the key, right? So this 5 ka some hash value will be generated by the hash function. Okay. And that abhi ke liye samajh lo ki hash value is like a like instant identification point. Ki memory mein, like understand it as a reference to a particular memory address hai kisi memory ka. So you can reach this point in a constant time, because this calculation will happen in a constant time. You can reach this position in a constant time. Okay. So at this position you can store this value, as I told. See, you have a key, hash value has been generated. So hash value matlab you can understand it as something like the index of an array. Okay. You can reach it in a constant time where you will be storing the value, right? So in a way you are applying this hashing here, so that as soon as you're putting the key, you're able to generate the hash value and you're able to tell what is the value in a constant time, right? So it's a map basically, which is having a key value pair, but the map may like you are able to do it in a constant time. That is the reason why it is called a hash map, right? So that is about this thing. Okay. So how we are doing. So there are different types of maps as well, which will be coming through. Right now, the order in that map is completely random. So I've showed it. Okay, yesterday, right? So I've given an example of where you might be needing. You're given an array, and you might be asked what is the index of that array, right? That is quite possible. Agreed. So array might be needed to map to its index. Correct. So this thing is really simple, right? But the reverse, you need to use a hash map, right? So you need to traverse the array once to store what is the value and which index is that. You'll be storing that index in the value terms, right? And from the next time, whenever the queries are being asked, whenever it is asked key, what is the index of this particular element or what is the index of the next element, you can easily say by looking up into the hash map. Correct? Correct? Is this making sense, guys? Hello? Chalo. Great. So this is about the hash map, which we learned. Hash map consists of this thing, the hashing technique and the value of a map, right? So yeah. So I told you about hash map in Java collections, right? So this is how it is going to be, right? So you're going to declare it in this way. So this thing, the first thing that is present, that will tell the what is the data type of the key. And what is the data type of an integer? It could be string, it could be anything. Your object bhi ho sakta hai, koi bhi object bhi ho sakta hai, right? And this is how you initialize it. Okay, this is the declaration, this is the initialization. Everything can be done in one line only. Correct? So now, so insertion, how do we insert into a hash map, right? So we have a method called put, where you will be putting a key and value. C++ it's simple, right? So you know that, right? Similarly, access karne ke liye, you need to get by the key, right? So this thing is happening in constant time. This thing is happening in constant time, obviously, right? Because of hashing technique. Remove, when you're removing it by using the key, both the key value pair will be removed, and it is also happening in a constant time. Correct? Right? So then comes the contains key, right? So this is another method which will return a true or false. It will return a Boolean value, true or false, if the particular key value pair is present. By just providing the key, you'll be saying if it is present or not. Contains value. This is another method which will tell if this particular value is present or not. Okay? So to say that, you need to iterate through all the values. Correct? You can't say it without that. Agreed? So you need to iterate it. So you can't do it like hashing, like this na contains key ki tarah, you can't do it using hashing, right? You need to iterate to all the values. So it will take big of n time. Correct? Then comes get or default. Okay, so I told you about this thing. Get or default is nothing but get only. But in case this particular key is not present, you'll be returning a default value. So these are about the methods which we discussed. Okay. So I'll be just showing the code once again. Okay, you guys are asking about the code. So this is the code which I have written yesterday, right? So there's a hash map that I've created. I'm putting these values as key value pairs, right? I'm printing how 4 ka value I can get, right? So I'm putting few more values, few more key value pairs, and you can see that 4 has been overwritten. Okay, यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि 4 ka initially it was 78, now it became 100, and you can see that it will get updated as 100, right? And I've shown that there is no key called 3, but still I'm trying to get it. Then this guy will be returning null, but this guy, instead of returning null, it will return the -1 value. That is the default value. Correct? So I've tried to print the hash map and the size as well. Okay, these are the methods, and I've pinged few of the, yeah, we have pinged few of the notes, okay, to do it. Okay, like if you guys have studied, you might have learned few more methods, but these are mostly the practical ways. Okay, so this is about whatever we learned yesterday. Okay, so then I've told about the frequency thing, which I'll be telling you. But guys, can you guys tell me how to iterate through a hash map? That is also necessary, right? It might be possible that you're supposed to print all the values. It might be possible that you're supposed to print all the values. Correct? Right? Okay, so I'll tell you that. Okay, there are multiple ways. Okay, so I'll tell you one by one. Okay, so the first way that comes into my mind, okay, and the thing which I'm frequently going to use is this way. Okay, so there's a type of so guys, if you know, okay, let me comment all these things. So there's something called for each loop, okay, which I'll be telling you. For example, if you have an array, if you have an integer array, which is equal to 5, 2, 3, 6, 4, 1, and 90 or something, right? So if at all I have something like this int x, and I put a colon, and if I write a name of this thing, okay, what do you think will happen? Can anyone tell me? Will this work? Will this work? See, no, yes, right? I'll tell you what it is. So basically, this is the data type of the elements present in the array or any iteratable, basically. Okay, I'm not sure if it works for an array or not, but basically works for an iteratable. Okay, so this is the element that you're getting. So for usually this is the code you write, right? So int I equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, right? And then you'll be getting the value in this way. But at times, this particular kind of code is important because you might be using this value index somewhere, okay, in some code or something while printing or something like this. Okay. But if you're just using it for the accessing of the element, then this will be kind of overkill, right? So that is the reason why this was created, right? So I'll just show you. So if at all it doesn't work for this, then it will just wait. So I can, if I write something like this, x. Okay. I'm sorry. So it should be something like this, nah? My bad. Yeah, there's some chat that's been picked up. Yeah. You can see that 2, 3, 6, 4, 1, and 90 are being printed after the line skip. See. So this is like this is like this is like running a loop in an array, but just accessing the element. Okay, the element can be accessed as an X. Correct? Guys. Like if at all you don't have anything to do with the index, okay, you can access it by the X value only. Correct? So yeah. So this is a general thing. That's the reason why I'm showing key to tell you that it's a general thing. Okay, it's not just specific to hash map. Okay, it's a basic general thing. Okay. So now if at all you have a hash map like this, okay. So now let me do the same thing for the hash map as well. Okay. Let me write X, and now see, hash map has two things, right? One is the key, another one is the value. And here I can see that both of them are integers, right? Both of them are integers, correct? So I have a method called key set. Okay. So there's a method called key set. So this thing basically gives me a set of a set of keys, all the keys present. What are the keys present here? 1 is a key, 5 is a key, 4 is a key, 2 is a key, and again 3 is not a key, 3 is not put again. Correct? So these are the keys. Okay, so it will kind of give me a set of keys. Okay, and one by one you're picking it up. See, the same thing I'm doing here as well. Okay, here यहाँ पे array है, any iteratable बोला था. Okay, so even set can be iterated, right? So this thing one by one it will be moved. Is this making sense? Right? So now I can print it. I can print the value X. Let me run it. You can see that all the keys have been printed. 4 print ho gaya, 1 print ho gaya, 2 print. What is this? Excuse me. What has been printed? Yeah. So yeah, 4 is the size. Okay. So don't confuse it with the value. Okay. So you can see that 1, 2, 4, 5 are being printed. Okay. These are the keys, right? So if at all I'm able to print the keys, why can't I print the value? I can print the value as well. So let me write something like hm dot get the X. So see, you have the key, right? And you can easily get the value, right? So this is the kind of favorite type of iteration which I do. Is this cool, guys? See, 1 is being mapped to 89. 2 is like here I'm manually printing it. See, initially I was printing it manually. I was showing ki how I am getting it manually by one by one. Now I've created an automated way to print all the values that are present one by one. Correct? So this is a yeah, keys are sorted. You are finding it sorted. Okay, because I just used positive values. Okay, so if I put some negative values like this, okay, so negative values should also be sorted according to your logic, right? But they won't be sorted. Okay, that's the beauty. Okay, so you can directly say कि they are not sorted. Okay, so let me just run it. Yeah, you can see that -1 पहले आ गया, -4 यहाँ पे है, right? You might feel कि positive values are sorted because the hash value, based on the hash values, they will be iterating, right? So hash values are generated in that sequence, but they are not sorted. You can see, correct? Is this making sense, guys? Okay, so there's another way which I'll be teaching you. Okay. What if I want it only in sorted order? Vipin, I'll tell you in few lectures. I'll be telling you that. Okay, not right now. Okay. So there's another way of doing it. There's another way of sorting it. Okay. There's another way of traversal. Okay. That is values. Okay. You know that it's an integer as well, right? So I can write something like it's values. So this particular thing will basically give me all the values. Okay. So let me just print all the values. Okay. So, but can you get a key from its value? No, right? So if at all there is only values that are needed and you don't want to get into this complexity, then you can directly print it. You can see that like it will iterate to all the hash map. This is the hash map, right? And it will give me all the values, only the values, right? I can directly use it. This is another way which you guys are saying about the entry set, okay, which I'm leaving as a homework for you to read. Okay. So if just try, okay, if you're not understanding, okay, we'll discuss it in the class. But I want you guys to put your efforts because most of the things you're supposed to learn it on your own in DSA. Okay. Cool. So this is about the iteration. Is that making sense, guys? Shall we move forward? Hello. Correct. Yeah. Okay. So right now, what I am doing is I told you about the frequency map, right? So this is the usually, okay, whenever there's a term called frequency in a question, always think of it in a hash map terms. Okay. How to think of it in a hash map terms? Okay, because frequency का मतलब है, there's only one way of storing it, that is by key value pair, where the key is that key and the value is that frequency. Correct. So I told you yesterday how to iterate through an array and generate the frequency map, right? So you're basically supposed to just run through the array, right? Each value, you'll be just checking if in the hash map it is present or not. If it is not present, you'll initialize it with 1, right? So using that, like that will be done in big of n. The pre-computation will be done in big of n. But later, if any queries will be asked, tell me what is the frequency of this number. Tell me what is the frequency of this number. Likewise, if at all even 10 power 6 or 10 power 7 times it has been asked, you can deliver it in constant time. Okay. Is this making sense, guys? Hello? Correct? So see, I can write this code. It's really simple. Okay, you have an array. So I'll be showing it in a more practical way. This way. Okay, so how to write this code? You'll be using a loop. Okay, you will be going through each and every value. Okay, you don't have to go through this loop. You can go for the for each loop as well because you're not using I value anywhere, right? So just put that value against whatever that value is present plus 1 because you're increasing the frequency as you're moving, right? But I don't want it to be a null value, right? So that is the reason why I use or default. So if at all it is null, then I'll be returning 0 in its form. Correct? Okay. So is this kind of understandable for you guys? I can explain you again by dry running it. Okay. So you know that you'll be putting a key and value here, right? So what is the key? Key is the element. Value is supposed to be the frequency. Okay. So initially, whatever the frequency is, for example, if you have 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 3, 2, 1, something like this. There's an array like this. So initially, you have an empty hash map. Key value, right? And like the moment you come here, okay, it is 2, right? So 2 against nothing. So you'll be returning 0, right? So I'll put 2 against get that value, which is nothing, right? So you'll be getting 0 plus 1. So I'll put the frequency as 1. Now I'm reaching here. You can see that 2 get that value, that is 1. 1 plus 1, that is 2, right? I'm putting 2 against the 2, right? Again 2, right? I'm putting 2 against this value plus 1, that is 3. So again 3, 2 against 3. You can see that till now the frequency of 2 is 3. यहाँ तक समझ में आया सबको? Is this thing understanding? Right? सबको समझ में आ रहा है ना? तो अभी 1 आया. See 1. So I'm putting 1 against get that value 1. So it is 0 initially. So 0 plus 1, that is 1. So 1 against the value 1. वापस 1 पे आया. I'll be getting this value 1. Plus 1 करूंगा इसका 2 हो जाएगा. So I'll be putting 1 against the value 2. वापस किया. I'll be getting this value. ठीक है, get that value, add 1 to it, 3. Correct? So this is basically a frequency mapper, right? So 3 पे आया. See 3 is not present, so you'll be getting the default value as 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So initially you'll put it as 1. Again 2. 2 का 3 है, it will be 4. 1 पे आता है 1, it will be 4. Right? At the end, your frequency map will be in this form. 2 will be mapped to 4, 1 will be mapped to 4, 3 will be mapped to 1. You can see 2 का frequency 4 ही था, 1 का frequency 4 है, 3 का frequency is 1. So are you guys understanding how I'm generating a frequency map? एक बार सोचो, like if you, the people who are not understanding, try to spend little time on it. ठीक है? How am I writing this statement of put against the default? Correct? What is ARR inside? Okay. So if you paid attention in the yesterday's class, I told you this thing. Okay. So this HM dot get or default, this is basically nothing but get the value against. So this is the key basically. Okay. Get the value against this key. If there is no key like this, then return the value 0. So that's what it says. So this is the key. की के अगेंस्ट जो भी वैल्यू है उसको रिटर्न करो. अगर वो नहीं मिला, मतलब की वैल्यू पे नहीं मिला, तो like whatever the default value is, return that. Correct? So like this is the same code as this one. See, try to see this. ठीक है? अगर this value is present, ठीक है, get that value and add 1 to it. ठीक है? Or get that value and put 1 against it. So this 4 lines of code is being compressed into this particular code. I'll show you guys. Let me just show you in the GDB. It will be much easier for you. I think showing it in using this question will be much easier for you. Okay. So how is the count increasing? Shad, count. एक बार unmute कर लो यार. एक बार मैं बता दूँ clearly तुम्हें. Like you're facing difficulty in this, right? Just raise your hand. I'll unmute you. Just tell me where you're facing exactly the problem. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, hi Shad. हाँ, hi.
Yes, sir. वो पिछले क्वेश्चन में पिछला जो एग्जांपल आप दे रहे थे, उसमें वो काउंट कैसे इंक्रीज हो रहा है वो समझ में नहीं आया.
देखो काउंट कैसे इंक्रीज हो रहा है, देखो इसी में देखना. Let's just focus on these 4 lines. Yesterday you were there, right? Yesterday I was teaching this only. I'm just revising. That's the reason you might be finding it a little fast. So were you there yesterday?
No, sir.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Okay. That explains. Okay. So see,
Yes.
This is the key, right? This is the key. So whatever that value is against this key, है ना, वो उसका count right now है. So this is the count right now.
Yes, sir.
Frequency right now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So whatever the frequency right now is, just add 1 to it and put it against this value. See,
Okay,
this is HM dot put. This is the key, right? And
yes,
this
sir.
whole thing is the value I'm putting. So whatever the value initially it was, just add 1 to it and put it. So this is how the increase is happening.
Yes, sir. Now got it.
है ना? तो उसमें default में, like I'm just eliminating this 4 lines of code by just saying कि if at all the key is not present, then also you'll be returning the value 0. बस इतना ही है.
Okay, sir.
समझा?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, so I told you guys to think about this question, the valid anagrams, right? So this question mein, you are given two strings, string 1 and string 2, right? And you are supposed to say if they are the valid anagram or not. Okay? So what are the anagrams? Anagrams are the values which are having different arrangement, okay? Rearranging the letters, but the frequency, matlab the elements, the same elements are to be present in both the strings with the same frequency. Correct. The most sensible approach here is you have an anagram, right? So this is like rat. Let's take this rat. Okay. You can see that rat is having a frequency of 1, A is having the frequency of 1, T is having the frequency of 1. Correct. So you can see that car kele, car is having the frequency of 1, A is having the frequency of 1, R is also having the frequency of 1. You can see that A and R are matching, but T and C are not matching, right? So you'll just say they are not valid anagrams. For example, if you have something like ATR or ART, okay, a string like this, okay, you can create a hash map of this, that is a frequency map of this, that is A is being mapped with 1, R is being mapped with 1, T is also mapped with 1. Correct. So you can see that it is matching exactly, right? So A is having the same frequency, R is also having the same frequency, T is also having the same frequency. So you can just compare these two hash maps one by one. Okay? Each element को one by one compare करके you can say कि both of them are anagrams or not. Do you think this approach is correct or not, guys? Hello? Right? So this approach is correct, but how to compare? Arundhati, it's simple. Okay, try to think how to compare. Okay, you need to iterate to one of the hash map, get its key, okay, get the value of it, and get the value from the other hash map as well. Just compare those values and compare if they are present or not. If at all they are not present, then they are not same. Correct? You know how to iterate to the hash map, right? Hello? Correct? Right? Cool. Or I have another idea. Okay. So this is like the second approach. है ना? First approach क्या होने वाला है? For every time you'll be calculating each character का, you'll be taking what is the frequency in it, and you'll be calculating what is the frequency in it. You'll be matching it. So that is an n square approach. That is the first approach, brute force approach. Second approach is using two hash maps, right? The third approach is what I am thinking right now is why don't we use one hash map only, guys? एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में. I'll be using only one hash map, just one hash map, right? And like rat ke liye, I'll be making the hash map 1, A is 1, T is 1, right? So I have something like a string called ART, right? So for this particular string, right? So each character ke liye, I'll be instead of creating another hash map, in this hash map only, I'll be decreasing it. A पे आया, इसको 0 कर दो. R पे आया, इसको 0 कर दो. T पे आया, 0 कर दो. और जो 0 है ना, just remove that element from the hash map. ठीक है? At the end, if the hash map का size is 0, then they are matched, right? Similarly, there's another value that is E here. Okay, so E will be -1, correct? So it is not like this particular thing ka hash map ka size is not 0, right? Hash map ka size is not 0 exactly, correct? So in that case, I can say that they are not anagrams. Don't you think, guys? Huh? Correct? Guys, is this making sense? Hello? Right? So instead of just two hash maps, I'm using only one hash map. Correct? So I'll implement it and show you. Okay? Meanwhile, just poll it. Okay? I'm just waiting for the poll results. Yeah, there are 220 votes, right? Let's check. Great. The poll results are clear. It's 8 o'clock actually. I'm fine with 8, but okay. Cool. You guys preferring 8. Hey guys, everyone note, please. Okay, so let me code it quickly. Okay, so let me quickly code it. Okay, and show you guys how it is done. Okay. So, so it is. So how the frequency map is written? So it is basically I'll be just taking the string lengths. Okay. So initially I can write something like t of n equals to s dot length. Right. So t dot m equals to t dot length. So do you guys, how many of you agree with this statement? How many of you agree with the line which I've written in the line number 5 and 6? Guys, do you guys agree with the statement? Dekho, if the size is different, it means that obviously they are not same. Correct? Correct? So if at all they are same, even then there's a possibility that they are not anagrams, right? Right. So for that, let me write something like this. Okay. So let me write something like int I equals to n. So I'm iterating to the first string right now. Okay. So what I'll be doing is I'll be getting the character int c equals to s dot caret I. So this is how I get the character. Oh, I hope you guys know. Correct? Guys. So now, as I showed in the hash map, the hash map is supposed to be a character mapping to an integer. Right? So let me create a hash map like that. So let me map a character mapping to a integer. Okay, these are the wrapper classes. So is this thing clear how I've written, how I've declared the hash map, guys? Are you there? Chalo. Great. So see, now let me put the value, like put the value C against, I'll be putting whatever mp dot get or default. Okay, with the C and 0. See, either get what is the frequency of the C character, okay, or return me the 0 if at all C is not present yet. Whatever I get, I need to add 1 to it and put it against the C. No kya? Kisko samajh nahi aaya? Guys, is this thing, this is what I was explaining since yesterday, right? See, you are, so see guys, so mp dot put mein, you need to pass two parameters. One is the key, other one is the value, correct? So key is supposed to be the character, which I'm getting, right? So I'll be putting the character here, C. But in the value, okay, so what I'll be putting is, okay, so I'll be just looking into my hash map, okay? I'll be just looking into the hash map. Initially it is like for, let us assume I'm doing it for rat, okay? So initially R hai, okay? So R is not present, right? So I need to put it as R map to 1 initially. Okay. So I'll be putting C against whatever the value is present. Okay, that is mp dot get C. Okay, whatever that value is plus 1. So initially, this is supposed to be, this will be returning null. I don't want to do that. So instead of getting this, I'll be writing mp dot get or default. Matlab, agar if this particular value is not present, C is not present, return the default value, that is 0. This is the default value. Return the default value, that is 0. So 0 hoga yahan pe, 1 hoga, right? So I'm putting C against 1, R against 1, right? Agar ek aur R hai, for example, there's another R, okay? Then C against, matlab C in the sense ki this character C, this is a variable, right? So R against the value, that is 1 plus 1, that is 1 plus 1 is 2. So put R against 2 inside this hash map. Correct? हाँ, you can understand it in that way, Shad. ठीक है, but usually get or default is used when you are trying to get a value, but you don't want to get a null value if at all it is not present. You want to get a default value. Default matlab, in case the key value pair doesn't exist, what value should this particular thing return? It won't make changes in the hash map. It won't put it jabardastly. It won't put it. Only this value will put it, but it will only return the value. Correct? ठीक है. So I hope you guys understood that. Okay. So I've generated this thing. Okay. So now I'll do the same thing again, but this time with a T, string T. And this time, let me decrease the value. Let me do the -1. So that if at all the character frequency is same, at the end, everything will be 0. Is this making sense, guys? Hello? By default 0, yaar, thoda socho. Abhishek, see, before asking a question, try to think on your own. Okay, you are in module 3. Okay, I was expecting like it is expected from you that you guys are more of thinking than asking it straightforward. Okay, so if you thought about it and still not getting, then go ahead and ask me. Okay, so why are we going with the 0 value? Okay, so 0. So see, when the key value pair doesn't exist, when you are encountering it for the first time, agreed? Key value को पहली बार encounter करो तब भी तो होगा. So at that time you wanted to put it against 1, right? तो 1 के लिए against put करना है, तो when you're adding 1 to it, it is supposed to be 0, correct? Is this making sense? Right? तो एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में कि 0 आएगा तब भी तो +1 हो पाएगा, correct? Right? So guys, like I can remove the values, okay, if at all they are 0, but I'm thinking of something to make the use of the values thing which I told. Okay? So देखो. Now, if at all they are anagrams, what is expected from the value of x? If they are anagrams, every value is supposed to be 0. It cannot be -1, it cannot be +1, it cannot be +2, +3, nothing. Every value is supposed to be 0. Agreed? So can I write something like, if it is not equals to 0, then return false. And if return false नहीं हुआ तो last में आ गया मतलब every value is 0. So return true. Don't you think this statement is correct, guys? Correct? है ना? Every value is supposed to be 0. See, it could be possible that देखो यहाँ पे C आया ना, C is not present in the character, right? So it will put a directly 0 inside my hash map, right? I'm sorry, it will put -1 inside my hash map, correct? तो -1 भी नहीं होना चाहिए, मतलब दोनों ही exactly same होना चाहिए, correct, guys? So if at all they are not same, then I'll return false. Okay, so let me run the code to test. You can see true आया. Let me submit it. It got accepted, right? So so are you guys able to see ki how we are doing it? Hello? Right, line number 17. देखो line number 17 में 1 by 1 this iteration will happen. First time पहली value होगा, second time next value होगा, third time next value. In that way it will go. Next time fourth value, उसके बाद fifth value. In that way it will go, and it will check ki if that value is 0 or not. ठीक है? It's not कि पूरा list यहाँ पे बनेगा and then it will be checking. Is this cool? Hello? Yeah, I'll try run once. Just a second. Let me take this word anagram. Okay? Anagram is the word S. T is nanagram. Nanaram. Nagaram. Oh, nice. Nagaram. It's a name, man. Okay? So see, definitely दोनों का size equal है, so return false नहीं होगा. You created a hash map. ठीक है? Hash map में character होगा. ठीक है? So first you are iterating to the value string S. ठीक है? So you will be reaching A. ठीक है? So A के पास आया, you try to put the value a against whatever the value is present or 0 plus 1. Okay. So value is not present. So 0 will be returned. 0 plus 1 is a against 1. Correct. So a is against 1. Okay. Then comes n. n का भी same वाला था. It will be 0 and n will be against 1. फिर a आता है. A will be like whatever the value is present, get or default. 1 plus 1, that is 2. So a of 2 will be put into the hash map. So this will be overridden. Correct? Correct? So G पे आया, G will be 1. R पे आया, R will be 1. A पे आया, again, this will be updated to 3. M पे आया, right? M is not present, so M will be 1. This hash map is being created by this line. Now I'll start the iteration in the T. Okay. N पे आया, N का जो भी है, whatever that particular thing is, just subtract it to -1. So it will be 0, right? A पे आता है, whatever that value is, subtract it by 1. 2 हो गया. G पे आता है, it will be 0, right? A पे आता है, it will be 1, right? Again, at R, you will make it 0. At A, you'll make it 0, right? M, it will be 0. At the end, have you seen, guys, then all the values are zeros. Correct? You can see all the values are zeros. If at all there's another value, मतलब कुछ और m की जगह n है यहाँ पे, then what will happen is m will be 1 and n will be -1. So in that case, I'm returning false. Is this correct? 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 So this is how I'm doing it. एक बार बढ़ाओ and then make it fall again back to 0. So only if the same amount of values are there, same values are there, and same in the same frequency they are there, only then at the end the values will be 0, or else they won't be 0. Okay. What if you want to get the characters? Bro, I just told you, right? It is key set, है ना? Key set use करो, you'll be getting the characters, man. So एक बार वैसे करके दिखाऊं क्या, guys? See, character C, mp dot key set, right? So if mp dot get C is not equals to 0, then return false, or else return true. एक बार देखो इसके बारे में. See, the key set is supposed to be character, right? है ना? So I just put it as character C, and I'm getting all the key set. ठीक है? And I'm getting the value from it in this way. mp dot get C. Is this making sense, guys? Hello? है ना? समझ में आया सबको? Time complexity यार, अब ये भी मैं बताऊं. You guys need a little, way in change of thinking. You tell me what is the time complexity. I'll validate कि वो सही बोल रहा है कि नहीं. Think. Tell me what is the time complexity. Big of n, exactly. See, you're iterating through it. Okay, big of n. Everything is constant, right? This is constant. This is constant. Everything is constant. Again, एक बार iterate कर रहे हो, big of n. Again, एक बार iterate कर रहे हो, big of n. Big of n ही हुआ ना total. 3n मत बोलो, big of n ही होता है. Correct? अगर कुछ nested दिख रहा है, n square होगा, right? अगर in the particular loop log n में कुछ हो रहा है, then n log n होगा. Correct? Space बताओ guys. हाँ, space बताओ. Can you guys tell me what is the space complexity? Yeah, it is big of n, right? To be precise, it is big of like distinct characters, but it is big of n only for now. Okay? Because it could be possible that every character is distinct, right? So it is big of n, where n is the length of the string. Correct? You tell me, Gaurang. Tell me what is the advantage over brute force? Tell me. Brute force में n square लग रहा है ना? इसमें big of n हो रहा है. Correct? Brute force में for every character you're trying to search what is the frequency of it. Correct? Huh? So chalo guys, there's one more thing I want to teach, okay, in this particular aspect only, okay. So yesterday I was telling about ASCII values, right? So let me tell you that again, okay. So for example, if you have a character, okay, let me comment out everything. Let me comment out everything. Now let me just take a character, char C equals to A, right? Now, if at all I print this character, what will happen? Can anyone tell me? It will be printed. A will be printed. But if I put it as an integer, okay, then if I'm printing it, then what will happen? See, I told you right yesterday, this is called ASCII code. Okay, every character has been assigned with an ASCII code. This guy is having 97. B will be having 98. ठीक है, एक बार देख लेते हैं. ठीक है, C will be having 99. Likewise, it will go. ठीक है, 123 तक. Correct? This is about ASCII coding. ASCII मतलब American Standard Code of Information Interchange, right? You can see that B के लिए it is 98. Correct? So I was saying कि the biggest advantage you're having is the contiguous nature. You can see that it is contiguous, right? Like 97 के बाद you are getting 98, उसके बाद 99, right? So try to think of this, try to get some value out of it. Try to think, guys. A big capital A के लिए it is 65, correct? वहां पे same है, but the point is not the values, ठीक है? Point is कि the continuous nature of these values, ठीक है? This is the important thing. Guys, I'm just asking, okay, if at all I'm asked to not use the hash map of Java collection and supposed to do this question, how would I do it? Can anyone tell me? Try to think about it. कैसे करोगे? हाँ, frequency array, correct. तो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि frequency, you can see that here like this guy will go till 123, ठीक है? So let's assume smaller characters here. So I'm just saying कि मुझे तो एक ऐसा array चुनना होगा, right? That is frequency, which is of size 124, correct? क्योंकि this value will be acting as an index. मतलब if I put frequency of A, as you have seen that this will return a value 97, right? So if you do something like plus 1 or 2 or whatever, right? So this will act as 97. So in the array of 123, right? So from 97 only, the values will get populated. Agreed? Correct? So are you guys getting what I'm saying? Just like to the people who already know, don't interfere. The people who are understanding it for the first time, just pay attention. Right? So see, guys, again, so I'm just saying, if at all I want to use this particular thing instead of a hash map, okay? Well, जो Java collections का hash map is not allowed to use on. So I want to use this thing, okay? So I've created a hash map of size 124 because I know that each character can be represented as a value, right? So if at all I write something like frequency of A, so if I store a value like 3 here, okay, this will be understood as 97, and at the index 97, this value will be stored. Frequency of B will be some 5. Then at the 98th index, 5 will be stored. Do you agree with this fact? Guys, do you agree with this fact? Correct? So I'm just saying, okay, this will work. This will definitely work. Okay. I need not use a hash map. I can use only this. But my question is, can you guys see 123 mein only 26 letters are being used, right? All the remaining, मतलब 97 का remaining are being wasted. ठीक है? And you are engineer, you don't let things get wasted. Correct? So how do you do it? How do you solve this thing? Solve this problem. Just for 23 values, you're wasting all these values. Correct? Huh, exactly. So see, this is a kind of mapping only, right? Like 97 is been converted into its hash value 97, right? A is being converted into its hash value. Like this is a kind of hashing, right? So why don't you create your own hash function which will do this job? Okay. So for any character, okay, for example, it is D, okay, character D. I'll just subtract A out of it and use this as an index. What do you think will happen? See, I told you, right? These are contiguous, right? So if I do this thing, D minus A, it is 100 minus 97. That is nothing but the value 3. So D ka, like D is corresponding to this particular thing, right? Let us assume, like for every character, I'll do this thing. Okay, A ke liye bhi I'll subtract A out of it. You can see that 97 minus 97, that is nothing but 0. B ke liye bhi the same thing. B minus A, that is 1. Correct? So instead of just marking this thing directly, I'll just subtract A out of it so that there's a lateral shift of these 23 units here. So here first 23 will be used and I can only create only 23 values. So 100 values में बचा लिया ऐसे. मैं 26 values use कर सकता हूँ. How cool is this, guys? सबको समझ में आया, guys? Is this clear for everyone? How? So this is my hash function. See, this particular thing is my hash function. Okay, C minus, C is the character minus this thing. This is my hash function. Okay, so C को लो. Okay, C is the input and output is this thing. Okay, this is giving an index which I'm using in the array. Correct? To get the frequency. Used to note the frequency. Correct? Right? So let me do this, the same thing here. Right? So let me do this in this particular example only, the same example. Let me do it in the same example, man. Okay, so let me just comment this thing out. Okay, let's not use the hash map. Okay, because it has been not asked to use. Okay, so let me create a frequency array of size 26, only 26. Okay, so see, now what will happen? Okay, I'm just assuming all, so it is given also in the constraint key all of them are low case in English integers only. They are low case English integers, right? So I can just, instead of the map, okay, let me give few space. Instead of the map, let me just use the frequency C minus A plus plus. Guys, एक बार देखो इसको, प्लस प्लस इसीलिए कर रहा हूँ because initially सब zeros होंगे. Correct? Are you getting it, guys? Right? So I can do it plus plus or I can do it like this also. But plus plus is obviously better, na? C minus A is a character, okay? Plus 1, the same thing, right? Now here I'll be doing the reverse, okay? I'll be writing something like this, -1, and let me run a loop for 26 numbers, which will be telling, okay, which will be telling 26 numbers, which will be telling ki if frequency of any of the value, any of the character is not equals to 0, it means that return false. Hai, right? So see, now the space complexity reduced to just a constant value, right? It's a constant space complexity. correct? Sir, didn't understood. Can you explain this program once again? Okay, Radhika, right? So what I'm doing is, guys, so this is my hash function, which is converting a character into an index. Okay, so right now, based on the ASCII value, instead of the ASCII value, this is being converted to 0, right? A is being converted to, B is being converted to 1, C is being converted to 2, right? So directly I'm able to generate a value that is index, and against that index you're storing the frequency array, right? So you're having an array like this, which is having the frequency of that particular element at that position. मतलब A का frequency यहाँ पे होने वाला, B का frequency यहाँ पे होने वाला. So this is a kind of map, man. You're able to access it. It's a kind of hash map. See, this is a map. This is the implementation of hash map, because it is possible because because of this small simple hash function. But जो hash map में होने वाला, that's a complicated one. ठीक है? उसके लिए बहुत सारे things will happen internally to calculate the hash value, right? So this is how it is. See this, guys. ठीक है? How this hash function works, right? So how this frequency works is just that initially everything is 0, right? You're adding, like the moment you're encountering a character, you're adding that value, +1 कर रहा हूँ, +2 कर रहा हूँ, right? And again you're subtracting it, and at the end I want everyone to be 0. बस simple logic. You need to apply little thing. Okay? So Radhika, I told you, right? Like I've shown you in the GDB. If you are converting it into an integer, it will be converted to an integer. Okay? So where any place where you're typecasting it into an integer, it will be converted. See, I'll show you. See, यहाँ पे B को I've typecast it into a integer, right? This is a typecasting concept. Okay? So if I print it in this way, it will be B only, right? But if I typecast it, this is called explicit typecasting, right? So if you typecast it by putting an integer in front of it, okay, it will be converted to integer, and the value of an integer is nothing but an ASCII value. देखो 98 आ गया ना? Is this clear? Sagar, both the approaches will have same time complexity, correct? Same space complexity. You're saying yes, because at max in the hash map, okay, the values can go up to 26 only. But if at all this thing is not specified, if all the values are lowercase values, then it should be big of n. See, here it is specified that all the values are lowercase English letters. Okay? It might not be specified. Then it might go to 125, right? So whatever the so you can just say is the space complexity is the character that are available. Here you can see that they are just the lowercase English characters. So it is 26. I mean, it is constant. Correct? For character other than the test case inputs. Yeah, for everything it will work, man. For everything, for all the 26 characters, it will work. Try to just focus on the logic. Okay? If the logic is clear, you can run it on any example. Shall we take a break, guys? It's already 1.5 hours. What do you say? शायद आपको याद होगा. Okay. Bapre, no, yes. Okay, we can take a 5-minute break. Okay? And then we can get started. And then at 10 o'clock, like we can go for a lunch. I mean dinner. Yeah. So uske baad we can continue with our class. How cool. Okay? So let's take a 5-minute break, guys. Bro, after 11 तो हो जाएगा bro, like 11:30 तक तो जाएगा, है ना? So I think many of the people didn't get this concept of C minus this particular thing. So guys, whatever this value is, uska integer value 99 minus I'm always doing it with 97, so that they are not 97 and 98, they are in the range of 0, 1, 2, 3 till 25. You need to think about how this is working. This is this is something which you need to think. Shamshad, okay? Yeah, we can keep that till 256, obviously. But again, that's again this optimization thing, right? Like if you're able to do it with 25 elements of an array, 25 sized array, why to use 256 array? Correct. So that is the reason. Like 256 characters are present, right? So I don't want to do that. So this is how I'm converting the 97, 98 that values to 0 and 0, 1, 2, 3 and till 25. Correct. Guys, I understand your concern regarding not giving the break and ending it by 11, but understand this thing. Learning continuously for 3 hours is not good, to be honest. Okay? I definitely give break, at least 5 to 10 minutes break is necessary in between, so that it will give you your mind a little time to assimilate and take more information. Okay? So if you continuously read, continuously do the work for 3 hours, 2 hours, none of us brain will work. Okay? That's the reason even in the offices there are multiple recreation things that are present to refresh your mind or something. Okay? So that is necessary. I agree with you guys that कि 11 के बाद मुश्किल हो रहा है. But guys, you need to push yourself a little. कि 11:30 तक तो जाएगा रोज. Even if I start it at 8 o'clock, ठीक है, it will go till 11:30 every day. ठीक है, correct. So guys, so let's take a break quickly. So uh, let's take a lunch break now, or I mean dinner break now, or just a 5-minute break. बाप रे, हर चीज के लिए पोल. So okay, then okay. Let's take a 20-minute dinner break, man. That will be better. Okay, just a 20-minute dinner break. We'll be back at now it's 20 minute मतलब 40 and 50, right? 53 पे आएंगे वापस, ठीक है? 9:53 पे, ठीक है? And just have your lunch. So it will be in that way. I know that starting में थोड़ा friction लग रहा होगा, but you guys get habituated to that. I'll start the class at 8, ठीक है? So at 11:20 के आसपास we can end it because we're taking a 20-minute break, ठीक है? And that is necessary, ठीक है? Yeah, I'll make all the docs. I'll do everything, ठीक है? So this is another way of doing it, guys. So chalo, try to think of something else. To the people who are not going for the break, try to think for this question, okay? Try to think about this question, the longest palindrome, okay? If you're able to find something, great, okay? Or else we'll discuss it after the class, okay? Great. Yeah, hi guys. Welcome back. Yeah, cool. Let's continuously do till the end. I know that it's little boring for you guys. Yeah. So I hope everyone is present. Everyone is back from the break, right? 1 minute late. Okay. So did you guys think of this question, guys? किसी को doubt है समझने में इस question को? Hello? Did anyone face any difficulty understanding the question? Right. So let me just go through the question once. So it says that you are given a string which consists of lowercase and uppercase. Okay. Written the length of longest palindrome that can be built using those letters. Matlab, you don't have any restriction in the order. You can use it in any order, right? So it says that the case sensitive, this is not a palindrome, right? For example, you have A, B, C, 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 D, D, right? So using this, what are the palindromes that you can make? So what is the longest palindrome that you can make in any order? You can put it in any order. So how to do this question? Any approaches, guys? You guys thought? What? No. We can count frequency. Great, Rohan. Sir. Correct. So yeah, I think most of you found this solution. Okay. So what I'm saying is, for to do this question, let us assume you have a palindrome. Okay. So this is a palindrome, a box palindrome. You don't know what's happening here. But I'm just thinking, if you have two A's, you can put one A here, another A here to increase the length of the palindrome. So whatever the length was, L. Now, don't you think it became L plus 2? Guys? Hello? If at all the frequency of A is 2, what if it is 4? You can put one more A here, other A here. Matlab, if at all it is even, you can divide it into two values, one here and other one here, right? And I can just add whatever the frequency is into the, like I can extend the current palindrome by appending two letters here, matlab, whatever the half letters here to make it little long. Guys, don't you think? Is this making sense, guys? Yeah, not getting Sushmita. See, let me repeat it again. See, let us assume I have a palindrome of length L. Don't think about this length L right now. I'm just saying ki I can extend, I can increase. My aim right now is to find the longest palindrome. So if at all I have 4 unused A's, I can put 2 A's here, 2 A's here. Still, it will be a palindrome, right? What does a palindrome means? Palindrome ka matlab hai ki like it is from middle, it is just a middle refraction, correct? So it could be something like A, B, C, and C, B, A. This is a palindrome, right? You can see that यहाँ पे जो value that is here, यहाँ पे जो value that is here, यहाँ पे जो value that is here. It is a palindrome, right? But if at all you have some value like D equals to 4, 4 times you have D. So I'm just saying I'll be appending 2 D's here and 2 D's here so that my palindrome ka length has increased, correct? By the degree of 4. Don't you think? Hello? Guys? So I'm not supposed to return what is the longest palindrome. I'm just supposed to return what is the length of the longest palindrome. है ना? तो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ अगर 5 है, D का value 5 है, what will happen in that case? Like the first step is obviously to get what is the frequency of each and every value, है ना? So A का frequency is 1, B का frequency is 1, C का frequency is 4, D का frequency is 2, correct? So anyway, this is there, right? So you have this thing. So I'm just saying if you have 5 letters of D, even then you can put 2 letters here, 2 letters here. Agreed? मतलब whatever the odd value का जो भी है, you will just subtract -1 of it. Even that will contribute to the length. Don't you think, guys? Guys, just think about it. Just kind of brainstorm your mind once on this कि आगे का क्या स्टेप होने वाला है. एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में क्या होने वाला है. Yeah, so, but is this thing clear on how I'm increasing the longest palindrome ka length? Correct. So if at all it is directly 1, okay, in that case I'm just like if at all it is even, then I can easily increase it. But if at all it is odd, I can increase up to -1 of it. Correct. Yeah, Vipin, you can speak. Tell me. Correct. Just raise your hand. I'll unmute you. Just raise your hand. I'll unmute you. So guys, what do you think is the next step? कि कैसे करोगे आगे? Like, yeah, obviously most of you figured out कि I can put one value here. मतलब d को यहाँ पे रख सकता हूँ, है ना? Most of you figured it out. I hopefully, right? So what if you have e as 5 as well? So can you put e here instead of d? Will that give you any advantage? Tell me. Correct. So let me just summarize the whole solution first, okay, for you guys. So basically, you're trying to find the longest palindrome ka length, okay? So you have a string, and from that string you can extract what is the number of occurrences of each and every character. Correct. So what is that string? So string is A B C C C D D, right? A B C C C D D, right? This is the string, right? So I'm just saying that I'll create a hash map of this type. Okay, B is 1, C is occurring thrice, and D is occurring twice, right? So I'm just saying that whatever is the even value, for example, if you have A again, okay, so if at all this is an even value, right? If at all you have 2 more D's, okay, it will be a 4, correct? So what I'm saying is, in the final answer, whatever is the even value, that value I can directly add, because if at all this is a palindrome that I have formed, I'm just saying I have formed, okay, whatever, like using these 3 letters, okay. So if at all this is added, okay, I can put 2 D's here and 2 D's here, and it is just directly adding to my length, right? It is just increasing my length. Agreed? Whatever is the even guy ka length, I'm just adding it. Correct? So A bhi dekh lo. Like you can see that A is also even. I can add 1 here, 1 here. It will be a palindrome, right? Whatever you're adding here, that exactly the same thing you're adding it on the opposite side, making it a palindrome. Correct? See, if at all it is an odd number, then the problem comes. Okay? If at all it is an odd number, you can add the even component of it. मतलब 3 में 3 minus 1, 2 है ना? Right? I can add 2 C's, 1 front and 1 in the back. There is 1 C that is left, right? And there's 1 B that is left, right? So any one of them, okay, only can like there is only one case that is in the middle value. There is only one odd value that can be present. Okay, either it can be B or it can be C. Anything, doesn't matter what. You just, if at all there's an odd value, I just add 1 to it, plus 1 to it. Okay, this is how I can get the longest palindrome ka length. Let me repeat it. Initially length is 0. If at all I'm finding a even value, I'll just add it directly to it. Kyunki D, 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 right? Now I'm at C. It's an odd value. So I won't add it directly, but I'll subtract it from 1 and then add it. So it will be 6. Kyunki C यहाँ पे add किया, C यहाँ पे add किया, right? But C का एक बचा हुआ है, right? B is also left. Okay, you can't add it, one value. A can be easily added. So don't you think this is a palindrome, guys? It is a palindrome. But you have odd values as well, which are single values. You can just put any of them in between. So it could be C or it can be B, anything. So I just need to do +1 if at all there are any odd values. ठीक है, rest of them like I found this is the maximum, ठीक है, +1 किया, so it is -9. 9 is the largest that is possible from this. No, sequence doesn't matter, bro. Bharat, sequence doesn't matter because you're just finding the length of the palindrome, man. Hai, you're not creating a palindrome. You're just supposed to return what is the length of the maximum longest palindrome that can be made. So that's the reason why I gave time for you guys to understand. Okay? So what I'm saying is, yeah, Nandini, that's a palindrome. So what I'm saying is, if at all a even frequency ka jo bhi element hai, I can directly add that frequency into the answer, because even if the palindrome is empty, I can just add half of them on the front side, half of them at the back side, so that it will be balanced at the end. Correct? Agar mere paas 3 or like if at all I got 6 or A's, okay? So I can add 3 A's here and 3 A's here, right? So whatever is the even value, I'll just add it into the final answer. But if it's an odd value, okay, so I'll only add whatever the odd -1 into the answer, because only they can cancel out each other. But I'll just mark that I have an odd value at the end. Okay, I'll just choose any of the odd value. I'll just do +1 at the end if odd value is present. So can you transform this into the code, guys? Just try to think. Can you guys think on how to transfer this into the code? Tushar, I didn't get you. I didn't even teach hash set. How it will be more easy using the hash set? I didn't get you. How? So I think we are using hash map. Okay. So don't try to force any data structure on any question. Okay. Just see where is the use. Okay. What is the use? And based on that only you'll be choosing the data structure, right? So I'm just feeling that okay, I need to use a hash map because I'm mapping a character with its frequency. Correct. I need a map. Correct. Guys, how many of you agree with me? Hello? Okay. So for odd values, man, nothing is there. Like for example, E is 5 times. Okay. So I'll just add 4 into the answer because I can add 2 E's here, 2 E's here, right? And it will be done, right? Like I can't add one more E. Okay. So whatever is the odd value, so odd value ka -1 I'll be adding into the final answer, right? But I'll just mark I have a spare odd value that is single. Okay. I can only place only one of the odd value in the middle. Correct? I can only place one odd value in the middle, right? So any of the odd value, I'll just choose. If at all odd value hai, I'll just do +1 to it because the middle value is need to be filled. Middle value is the only value that can be odd. All the other need to be even. Do you guys agree? Shall I code it? किसको समझ नहीं आया? You can just let me know. Just let me specifically know what is your problem. Then I'll code it. It will be much clearer then. Okay. So okay, let's get started. Not necessarily 9. Not necessarily you need to add 1. Only if there's any odd value, only then like you need to add it. Okay. So let me just create a hash map that is mapping the character into it. Okay. So let's see. Enter n equals to s dot length. Right, and then comes hash map, which I'm going to use. Right, that is mapping up character to an integer. Right, you have a hash map, right, and then you will need to iterate through the just a second, guys. So just read the questions. This is a question. So now I need to iterate through the string, right? So it will be int of I equals to 0 and int of I should be less than n, right? And I'll just do map dot put. Okay, whatever the character is, okay, I can just mark know that character here only. Character C equals to, or character CH equals to s dot ch, uska whatever the value is, get or default. So this is how right now you guys are familiar with the frequency mapping, right? So it is get or default ch, default 0 hoga, and I'll just add with that value. So whatever that value is, initially the value is, from that value just add 1 to it and put it against the character. But this is how I'm building the frequency map. Okay. At the end, I'll just create a answer that is initially 0. This is the length of the palindrome. Okay. So let me just iterate to the hash map. Okay, I need to iterate to the hash map to know what are the values, right? So the values are, so let me iterate it in this way. C mp dot key set. Right. So if mp dot get of C, if at all it is even, okay, in that case, I'll just need to add it directly into the answer. mp dot get. So how many of you agree that using the values instead of key set, if I use values, it will be much beneficial? How many of you agree? Guys, right? You agree, right? Because I'm again trying to find this, instead of x, uski jagah x use kar sakta hu, right? So yeah. So right now, let me continue it with this. Okay, it is in this way. mp dot get C, but if it is odd, then in that case, I'll need to do -1, right? Because it is an odd number, I can't add all the numbers into the palindrome, right? Only minus number need to be added. But I need to keep track that there is an odd number present in my whole set. There could be an odd number, there could not be an odd number, right? So I'll just mark it as flag, some flag variable that is true. So initially it will be false. Flag is false initially. I'll mark it as true now. Okay. And if the flag is true, I'll just do answer plus plus and then return. Or else I'll directly return. Kyun guys? Is this code making sense to you? Correct. So let me just dry run it once for you. Yeah. So it'll, for example, I've created, so I hope till here it is clear for everyone, right? I'm just creating a hash map. I've created a hash map. Okay. Character mapping to its frequency. Okay. Then what I'm doing is, if at all it's an even number, I'm directly adding it. Okay. So initially this is the value, right? So you can see that 1, right? So in the answer, you will be adding 1 minus 1, that is 0. So you won't be adding anything. Flag will be set true. Iska matlab ki you have at least one odd number and it is sufficient. Again, the same thing, nothing will be added. But here 3 minus 2 will be added, because you can use 3 C's to create this palindrome, right? And obviously you have a flag true. So at the end, you will decide what to use. But again, here also C will also make it true, right? But again, D is also 2. So it will be 4. How? You'll be adding one D here, other D here. So it is a palindrome, right? So at the end, you have the flag true. It means that you have multiple or at least one odd number, odd character. So I'll be using that odd character. It could be A could be put here, B could be put here, or C could be put here, anything. So I'll just put any of them. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm not putting it exactly, right? I just need to add one to it, the size, and then returning it. Is this making sense, guys? Like the dry run? I hope you guys understood. Correct. So see, like in the key set, I'm traversing through each and every key. First this one, then this one, then this one, and this one. Right? Every time mp.get, if at all it is even, in that case, I'm directly adding it. If it is odd, see, this is 3, right? It is odd. I'm adding 3 minus 1, that is 2 into the answer. You can see 2 add kiya na? And then I'm setting the flag to true, because I'm just saying I have one odd value, odd character that is left out. What if there are two odds? It doesn't matter. You won't use both the odds. You'll just use one of the odd value. Na? You can see that you have three odds, right? So you can't use them. A can't be equal to B, right? So you will use any one of them. So that is the reason only once I made the flag true. Sushmita, एक बार सोचो, why is the flag needed? To see if there's any odd number or not. For example, let us assume there's a hash map that is created in this way. A is 2, B is 4, C is 2, and D is also 6. Okay? In this case, you can see that our map will be made in something like this, like our palindrome will be something like this, right? So you'll just add all of them into the answer. 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6. But we can place one value in between, but you don't have any odd value. Correct? So you will directly return that answer. You don't have to add it. So at that moment, flag will be false, because flag is denoting that you have at least one odd value which you can use at the end. Here, in this case, you don't have any odd value. So flag will be false every time. Okay? And at the end also, flag is false. So this statement won't be executed. And directly the answer will be returned. Agreed? Sushmita, is this clear? Correct? Anna? Yeah, with n also you can do it. Okay? So I'm just saying if at all there's any one value that is odd, it's not necessarily one, any value that is odd, then it will make the flag true. And at the end, I'm just checking if the flag is true or not, just to check if there's any odd value or not. And if at all it is true, in that case, I'm just adding 1 to the final answer. Because I need to put that value, odd value in between. Even if you put it in between also, it is still a palindrome, right? This is a palindrome. Right? This is a palindrome. D need not be repeated. So at least one value, if at all it is present in between, no problem. That is what I'm saying. How can we do it with n? People say that if at all are even, in that case, n is equal to the answer, right? If at all answer is less than n, it means that there is an odd value. But you can directly do it. Think about it. So simple things. Like, these are such these are things that are meant to be thought. Okay? Only then it will be helping you. Did you guys think about that? Anyways, see, you can definitely do it without using a hash map. You can do it using a character frequency array, which I just told. Okay, instead of creating Java collections hash map, okay, you can do it in that way. But like that is just a technique which I taught you. Okay, you can definitely do that, and don't have to feel the burden of the syntax and all. Okay, but I'm just saying I'm saying this thing so that you guys will have the flexibility to do use both the things, like both the techniques. Line number 14. See, guys, this is nothing but the value, right? Whatever the frequency is, I'm just adding that frequency into the answer. So this particular, I hope you guys know what is this, right? If I write something like this, it is nothing but answer plus 4, right? So whatever the answer is, for that, I'm just adding the frequency and then putting it into the answer. Samjha? So you're just getting the value of that frequency. You're iterating to basically all the key set, all the key elements, and finding its value. Correct? Understood? So I'm just adding that value. अभी भी किसी को doubt है इसमें? I hope it's pretty much clear, right? So अगर अभी भी doubt है, you can I think you need to think on your own. ठीक है? थोड़ा बहुत. Like realizing this thing is not very difficult. Okay. So shall we move to the next question? Okay, great. We have done a couple of questions. एक बार इसको देख लेते जल्दी जल्दी. It's a simple question as well. Find unique character in the string. जल्दी बताओ guys इसको कैसे करते हैं? Anyone? People who have not solved it, I'll be really happy if you come forward and solve it. Okay, correct. Right. You'll create a frequency map, right? And you'll see what is the frequency if one or not. Okay, correct. But how can you ensure first character? You're just talking about the unique character. What about the first unique character? Like first character that is unique. For example, lead code hai, right? There's a lead code like this, right? So what is the hash map for this? So it will be something like this. L will be pointing to 1. E will be pointing to 3. T will be pointing to 1. C will be pointing 1. O will also be pointing to 1. D will also be pointing to 1. Correct. See, here it is not present in the order, but once you created this hash map, you can just traverse through this particular string just to check key what is the first value. Like for example, you can see that L ka frequency is 1. What if it is 4? Okay. So then you'll go and search for E. E ka 3 hai. T, it is 1. So this is the first unique character. Agreed? Guys, do you guys agree with this? Yeah, don't go to linked hash map and all those things, man. Like, just try to do it with whatever you know. Right? Like, I didn't teach that yet. So try to solve it with whatever you know, right? Don't complicate it. Right? So simple. So what if I ask you to find last unique character? How will you do it? Last unique character. Traverse till the end. Nahi. Traverse from the back of string. Correct. You'll be traversing in this way. जो भी one strike होगा, you'll just return that. बस हो गया. अच्छा देखो, this is another thing. You are supposed to return the index. ठीक है? So you need to traverse it. Okay, you can't use linked hash map. Correct. So I hope you guys can do this question, right? है ना? सब smart हो, तुम कर लोगे, right? Great man, right? So let's do another question. Valid anagram हो गया. Missing number. This is also simple number. एक बार देखो इसको. What do you think? How to do this question? Like, I hope everyone is following with me, right? So I hope I'm not going too fast so that you guys are not understanding. Right, guys? Which question, man? Dipansh? Which question you want me to do? Yeah, that is really simple. N into n minus 1 plus 2. But hash map ke bare mein, like using hash map, how do you do, guys? No, don't name. If you sort it, Shubham, just think, na. If you're doing something like that, like sorting and all, okay, you are like going for n log n time complexity, correct? So I want to do it in big of n only. So correct. So तुम ऐसे कर सकते हो, you can use a hash map, right? And you can just traverse the numbers from 0 to n to find if which of any of the values having the frequency 0. Simple, right? That's how it is done, man, right? Varna, obviously the easier method without using any space, you can do it using the sum sum of all the elements minus the array. In that way you can do it, right? So cool. So this is also done. I hope you guys understood this one as well, right? This is not a difficult question using hash map. That is one of the simplest questions under the hash map. Guys, is this clear? Right. So I'm just opening another question, which needs little thinking. So it is 2 some. Let me just remove the code. Just see this question, guys. This is also one of the simplest questions. Just see this question, how to do this. Yeah, I'll send all the question links and I'll put it in the doc which you guys sent me. Guys, just tell me the usual approach. So question says key, you're given an array, right? You are supposed to find if there are 2 numbers, you're supposed to return the indices of 2 numbers such that they add up to a target, right? So for example, you can see that this is an array 2, 7, 11, and 15. You can see that 2 and 7 are adding up to 9, right? 9 is the target. So you'll return 0 and 1 as the answer, 0th index and first index pay. You have these values which are returning the sum as the target, correct? So yeah, it is said that you exactly have one solution. Okay. You may not use the same element twice. Okay. You can return the answer in any order. Okay. These are the things that are present. Okay. So how to do it? You can use 2 loops. Okay. One loop is iterating on it. Okay, something like this. And other loop is iterating on j equals to I plus 1 in this way. Correct? So j equals to I plus 1, you can do it and you can easily find key if a of I plus a of j. Like this is the n square approach. I hope there's no doubt in this particular approach, guys. No, right? Great. So now let's optimize it even further. Okay. So into big of n. So what I am feeling is how to do this question. एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में. X plus y is supposed to be a target. Correct? So what I'm thinking is create a hash map. Create a hash map. Okay. Like you can create a hash map like this. 7 is 1, some frequency map or something, right? So what I'm saying is after you created the hash map, okay, so X can be written as target minus Y, right? So if at all you have Y, I can easily know what is supposed to be the X value, correct? Guys, so the people who are doing it for the first time, try to think X plus Y is supposed to be the target, right? If one of the value is found, okay, so can I predict what is supposed to be the next value because target is given to us? Correct. Since target is given to us and X plus Y is equals to the target, right? So I can just understand it as in this way, right? So if I find a value, I can find is this value present? Like if I found Y, okay, like for example, if I found 2, okay, and I just need to find if 7 is present or not, bus. Correct? So X and Y are 2 values. So for example, let me just try run what I am thinking. Okay? So you have this array, right? The target is 9, right? So I'm at 2. Okay? So my hash map is completely clear right now, right? So I have 2. Okay? I can see that what is the corresponding value? 9 minus 2, that is 7. Is 7 present in my hash map? That is the question I'm asking. No, 7 is not present yet. Okay. 7 is present in the array. It is not present in the hash map, right? So what I'll do is I'll push 2. Okay, I'll just push 2 in as 1. Something like this. Right? Now, I'll reach here. I'm at 7. Okay. Now at 7, I'll just ask myself, key before pushing 7, I'll just ask myself, key 9 minus 7, that is 2. Is 2 present in my hash map? So I can easily say, yeah, 2 is present. So return this value and return this value. But then comes the catch, right? So how to know where which index at which index it is? For example, यहाँ पे 11 है, right? यहाँ पे 15 है, यहाँ पे 7 है, right? So let me rewrite the whole array. So I just kind of frequency की तरह store कर लिया because I felt कि बस values को store करना है ना? So यहाँ पे 11 है, यहाँ पे 15 है, यहाँ पे 7 है, right? So you can see that 2 पे आया, I just stored the frequency, ठीक है? 11 पे आया, and I'll just check कि 9 minus 11, that is -2. क्या -2 present है? नहीं है. So 11 frequency, 15 भी 1. I'm at 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. क्या 2 present है? Yes, 2 is present. So I know which index is 7 at, right? Because you're traversing. But how to know which index 2 is? I know that 2 is present till now, but which index? Correct? So this frequency is not solving the purpose, right? So you will be using hash map according to what are the use cases, right? So यहाँ पे use cases to return what are the positions at which the elements are present. So instead of the frequency, I'll be storing it against its index, right? 0 यहाँ पे store करूंगा, right? 2 यहाँ पे store करूंगा, correct? Yeah, values can be negative, right? Let me just check. Let me look at the constraint. Yeah, it can be negative. See, the values can be negative. Target can also be negative. So I'll just return this particular index and जो भी map में मिला that particular index, correct? Against this value. So दोनों को बना के भेज दूंगा. Think about this, guys. एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में. And what method will you use to check if this particular thing is present in the hash map or not? Can you tell, guys? What method are you going to use to check if this is present or not? No, hm.get. You can use get, but get will return a null value, right? If it is not present. Contains key, exactly. Right? It is making sense to use contains key right now, because that is exactly what is the purpose of contains key. उसको तो nerf कर दिया हमने सब मिलके, right? I'll just check if this particular thing is present or not. True or false में आंसर मिल जाएगा. Correct? वरना mp.get is not equals to null करना होगा, right? So guys, एक बार like I'll give you 1 minute. सोचो whatever. I hope I know that many people are there who didn't get the approach yet. ठीक है? So एक बार सोचने के लिए time दूंगा 1 minute, because DS is all about thinking. ठीक है? It's not about learning the solutions. ठीक है? And the people who have got it, try to code it. ठीक है? कैसे कोड करोगे? 1 मिनट का टाइम दे रहा हूँ. Try to think. Great. Don't send the code in the chat. did you guys find time to think, guys? Hello? Hana, shall I code it, guys? किसी को अभी भी doubt है इसके बारे में? How we are doing it? I'll tell you one more interesting use case of this particular test case. See, यहाँ पे you have 3, यहाँ पे you have 3, and the target is 6. Correct? So you can see that इसका index 0 है, इसका index 1 है, right? So the moment you encounter it, you should not put it into the hash map. Okay, you are here. If you put it into the hash map, 0 will be overwritten by 1. Right? So instead of that, okay, just check if it is present or not, because it's the same value, it might override it. Right? You just need to check if it is present or not, the corresponding value. If it is so, then put it, or else push it into the stack. I mean, into the hash map. Is this cool, guys? Right? Great. So let me code it for you. So it will be much easier. So anytime n को find करना होगा सबसे पहले, right? So I hope like abhi you will be like after doing these things, you guys will be having good homework questions. Okay? So try to do those questions. They are really important. Okay? You'll find it really nice solving those questions. Okay? If you're getting it, obviously, right? So I can see that I need to return an array, right? Array consisting of 2 elements, right? So let me create that. Right. So now let me create a hash map, because I need to store a integer, that is the value against its index, which is again to be an integer, right? Right. Let me iterate through the numbers. Right. So as I was saying, while you're iterating only, you will be checking if it is present or not. Okay. Every time it will be present, right? So you can see that if like the value is a of I, right? So I just need to check ki target minus a of I present hai kya. I just need to check if mp dot contains key right, contains key, if at all this is mp dot contains key, if at all this is present, okay, then you will need to return the answer. Okay, agar present nahi hai, else so you just put it into the map. Just put the a of I against its index. In this way only it will be built. Okay, so even though 2 and 7 are forming 9, okay, only when you reach 7, only then 2 will be checked. Okay, and it will be returned. It's not that at 2 you will be returning the 7 value. Okay, the reason why I'm doing is to avoid this case. If you guys are able to think clearly, then you'll understand. If you already created the whole hash map first, then there could be chances that the same values are overriding the other things. Okay. So while checking only, you will be doing that. Okay, while checking if it is present, only then you will be doing it. So in this particular case, you can see that we found the values. Correct? We found the values. So return it. Answer of 0 mein you just put this index I, and answer of 1 mein you can put mp dot get the value, this value, no? Because in map there is index that is mapped to it. Correct? So if you do it, you're getting the index of the other element. Correct? So let me just dry run it once. It will be much easier for you. For example, 3, 4, 3 to 4, right? You have 3, 2, 4, and target as 6. Correct. So you'll just go here and put it in the hash map because another 3 is not present. The 3 will be put against 0 because that is the index. You'll be going to 2. To get 2 will be put against 1, right? And obviously at this position you'll be checking if 6 minus 2 is present or not. 4. You can see that 4 is not present in the hash map, right? But the moment you reach here, 6 minus 4, that is 2. Is 2 present or not? Yes, 2 is present. So return this array. Return this particular index, that is 2. 2 को final answer में रख दिया. And also 6 minus 4 जो value है, that is 2. उसका against whatever the value is, just put that. Correct? You can see that mp dot get whatever the other value is, just put that. Okay? And this is what you're returning. It is given that in any order, you can answer it in any order. So you don't have to mind that. This code won't handle example 3. Yeah, it will handle, man. It will definitely handle. Let's see if it will handle or not. Okay? So if at all you have 3, if you have another 3, right? This guy is having the index of 0 and 1. You have a hash map which is empty right now. You're iterating 3 against 0. Right? You'll again find key 6 minus 3. Is 3 present? You won't be putting it like initially. You'll be checking it, and if it fails, then only you'll put it, right? So I put it again. I'm here. 6 minus 3 is 3 again. But is 3 present? Yes, 3 is present, right? Before this, right? So hash map is just saying what are the elements present before this element. You're not including this element. So yeah, 3 is present. So get this particular index and get yourself and return it. This is the code map. Sir, if there are 2 same elements, then it will return the last index and not the first index, for example. Yeah, it is making sense. You can return any of them, man. Like it is also given that you exactly have one solution, na? And you may not use like it is given that. So see, keys are not becoming non-unique. They are unique only. They are just overriding. Correct? And you can see that, like even though they are overriding it, it is not causing any harm to you because you're returning whatever the corresponding value, the index, and you're returning yourself, right? It is not causing any harm to you. एक बार देखो इसके बारे में. X kaha hai and Y. See, guys, that XY analogy I just gave it to explain ki what is adding 2 values is giving a target. Okay? So to get any other value, you can subtract the other value from the target, right? So यहाँ पे just understand ki this value is X and the value right now, that is this value is Y. You can understand it in that way. Okay? So X and Y ka, I'm just returning the index. देखो Y का index and this is the X का index. Correct? Just try to think about it, guys. अभी भी समझ नहीं आ रहा. Like इसका मतलब like you just need to spend little time on it. It's not a difficult question, to be honest. Okay? So there's another question like this, but like this could be like we'll come back to this question again. Okay? In module 3 only we'll come back to this question because it's a really cool question. Right? So we'll come back to this question and we'll do it in a much better way. Now we are doing it in big of n time and big of n space, right? So we'll optimize it even further. Just wait. Okay? In 3 code instead of 1. Okay? Line 11 elaborate. See, in line 11, I'm just getting the index of the other element. See, what are you supposed to return? You're supposed to return the array of the elements which are forming the sum, correct? The target. So right now, this person, like the first element is going to be the index, right? And the second element is nothing but whatever the corresponding element है उसका index, because in the map you're storing the element against its index, right? So when you're getting its value, मतलब you're getting it in its index, correct? Do you guys need time to think about this, guys? But if that's the case, I can give you a few minutes of time. Great, right? You got it right. Yeah, great, guys. You guys are doing great. We learned a lot of things today. Like we learned a lot of applications on index, on frequency, right? I'll send all of them. Okay. But like you guys are kind of developing the idea behind the hashing. Okay. So how you can use, how you can use the map to store certain data which is necessary and accessing it in big of one time. Okay. So that is what you guys learned, and really nice, man. It's really nice of you guys to do it. So if you are supposed to return the index in that order, just compare that indices, whichever is smaller, put it in the first element. क्यों तुषार? Correct? Yeah. सोचो यार, ये तो मतलब like these things. So you guys are just limiting yourselves, thinking you don't know it. Okay, that is not thought, but actually it is something that is to be thought on your own, right? Like obviously there can be a question form key saying ki return the elements in a sorted fashion. Okay, so you can return it in a sorted fashion by just reversing this, because this value is always lesser than this value. So I can return it in a sorted fashion always by just writing by just skipping these things. Agreed? Correct, guys? Line 40 में guys, see यहाँ पे if है ना, if at all this value is not present, I'm just in that case I'm putting it into the final map. Okay, so if at all the value is present, I'm not doing that, I'm just returning directly. Correct, because this is the end step, right? If at all this is not there, then in that case I'm just putting it into the map, because it might be used by the other gadget who is going to come, right? Yeah, let me just run the code. I didn't run the code, I guess. Target में कुछ problem है, cannot find the symbol. Okay, what symbol exactly? Yeah, it is not A, it is nums, right? So let me just mark it as A. So now it will work. So in the like here also, if at all that is not got, I need to return this thing. Return array. Answer. Right, it is working. Let me submit. Yeah, it got accepted. Correct? Is this making sense, guys? Is this question clear for everyone? Bug shaped symbol is because of the chat box. That is the chat box which you guys are having. So is that given key -1 return karna? No, they said that one valid answer always exists, so you don't have to return it -1. So it's cool. Yeah, we can solve more questions. Let's take it to another level, guys. Are you ready? Like, shall we do a good hard, medium level question, or you wanna get good with these type of questions only? Tell me. Medium hard पे चले. ठीक है. So there's this question which is not that hard, but this is not the question what I was thinking. I'll just give this question as a homework. Okay? just try to think of this and come tomorrow. Okay, we can discuss this. But I want to do a question which is little more difficult, like not even this, little more difficult. Okay, so let me just think of that question. Which question is that? I think it is group anagrams. Yeah. Right. This is the question, man. Group anagrams. Read this question and tell me your views on this. Do you want to do this or not? Group anagrams. I can see a chat. We don't know list. Okay, okay. So I'll send you the links, man. Don't worry. I'll send you the links. So about the list, okay. So you guys don't know about the list, right? Okay, cool. So guys, you need to do little research on this. Okay. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of what lists are. Okay. So list is basically a link interface. Okay. So basically this is the interface. Interface matlab it has only the methods but not the implementation, right? So there are two classes that according to me implements this. One is array list, other one is linked list, right? So these are not very complicated. Okay. So you can directly get like linked list, array list ka you can directly get key dot get karke you can get like one. So one index pe what is the value you can easily get it. Versus 2, 3 you can do it. Correct. So like you can see list may if you put whatever here is, so whatever is the data type, you can put it and you can write it as not new list. You need to write any of this. So if at all I write array list, okay, because array list is a class that can be instantiated, right? But list is an interface, it can be only part of the reference, correct? So if I write string here, it will be the list of strings. Okay, it will be something like this, like hello world, in that way, right? It's a list of strings, correct? समझ में आया guys? तो list of lists का मतलब है कि each element is a list. ठीक है? It means that like each element instead of hello you have a list, ठीक है, of some strings, hello, world and all. This is one element. The other element is Uday, like Shrinu. This is another list. Okay. So in that way, you have lists of lists as the return type here. Okay. And you have array of strings as input. Array of strings as input and list of strings as output. You're supposed to group the anagrams. Okay. So you are given something like this, and you're supposed to group them. Like you're supposed to return. See, for example, NAT and TAN, both of them are anagrams, right? So they are in the same list. So that particular thing is put here. Okay. The same way, these three elements are of same list, right? I mean, they all are anagrams with each other. So they are put in a different list. So in that way, you are bifurcating all of them in lists and pushing the whole list as the answer. Okay. So it's not that complicated. Just Mala, I'll tell you the syntax. It's not complicated. But right now, try to focus ki kaise karoge isko. Like how do you segregate these things? How do you identify a particular a particular anagram into list. Okay. So see, let me just give you this. So just read this article. Okay, this is the article I gave to all my students. Okay. So just read this article. It will be much clear. Okay. So you can see the examples. See, array list equals to new array list of strings, right? So you can add it into the way in this way. So it's like a array list. They will be stored in an in the order in which they are added. See, mango is added first, and then apple, and then banana, and then grapes, right? In the same way, you can iterate it. So you can skip that for now. Okay. You can see that string of fruits, right? And you're traversing it. It's a for each loop, right? You're doing it in this way, right? There's a get method which I was telling, right? The get method, you can get it like you can get what is that particular element present at that particular index 1. Okay. So in that way, you have this thing. Just read this. Jitna samajh mein aaya, itna samajh lena. I'll just put it in the Discord, in the doc as well, which you guys told. Okay. So you'll understand more about lists. Okay. So for now, I want you guys to think how to solve this question. See, read this thing as well. Okay. List is an interface. They explain what an interface is, right? And there are 2 classes that have implemented it. Okay. And you can directly use them. Okay. So go through it. Agar samajh nahi aaya to we can talk tomorrow regarding this. Okay. What is the difference between list of strings and string array? See, like there are completely different 2 different things, right? So what is the difference between an array? So this is an array, right? It's an array of integers, right? So string of array ka matlab hai ki each element is a string. That is the difference. New string of some value, some n value or whatever, right? So you're like here, each element is an integer, right? 5, 6, 7 in that way. 7, 9, right? In this case, each element is a string, right? It is ABC, DC, or some whatever, right? So you can access it similarly. Like here, you are able to access the first element in this way, second element in this way, right? Here also, you'll be accessing it in the same way. And this will give you a string. This will give a string, right? But list of strings is a data type. Like it's a Java collections ka array list. I mean the list. Okay. So it is a way of storing the values. I mean storing the elements in a form of a list. Okay. One after the other. You can do add method. Okay. Add method यहाँ पे नहीं होता, right? You can't do arr.add. Okay. So that is not present here. There you can add it. You can append the values, right? And the size also dynamically changes. So that is the difference. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे size is fixed, but यहाँ पे it will be different. ठीक है? Like it like if you guys know about vector, like understand it as a dynamic array. ठीक है guys, can you guys think about this thing? Come on. एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में, group anagrams. I'll be really happy if you guys are able to find any way. So I'll send you the questions now. I'll put it in a doc. Solve those questions. It is present in lead code. These are lead code questions. Guys, any approaches I can think of? Acha, doc link. So this is the long link, man. I'll just share. Just a second. So I'm just copying the link. I'll put it in the Discord. Okay. Right now I'm putting it in the chat box. Okay. So I put it in the chat box. Yeah, someone is so yeah, Arundhati, that's so correct. Correct. Great, man. You guys are on the right track. Okay. So what I can see is in this question, okay, anagram question. Okay. So just see this. Okay, you have a strings of array, right? Eat, you have tea, you have tan, you have 8, you have nat, you have bat, right? So try to sort each and every value. For example, if I sort it, it will be ATE. Now this particular thing will act as a key. Okay, matlab, like this particular thing will kind of act as a key to identify the same type of anagrams. For example, ye dekho, if you sort it, even this guy is giving the same value, right? If you sort this thing, even this guy is giving the same value, correct? You can see that, like if you sort this guy will be giving A and T, right? And if you sort this, even this guy will be giving the same value, and correct? But if you sort this, it will be ABT, right? So don't you think these guys, these three people are used as a key to identify a particular set of people? If you sort it, you're getting this. And if at all you got the same value again by sorting other value, you'll be marking them, all of them, as the same thing. So how do you think? How do you do this thing? But again, guys, I want you guys to read that article. Okay, or kal aana, then it will be much clearer when I implement it tomorrow. Cool. है ना? तो सोचो, लाइक गाइस, सोचो इसके बारे में, क्या करोगे यहाँ पे, कौन सा डेटा टाइप यूज करोगे? No, you can't, bro. Tushar, can we do it by adding the ASCII values of individual string? So that won't work, man. see your idea is cool. ठीक है, just imagine BC को ऐड करके बताओ, AD को ऐड करके बताओ, won't the values be same, bro? तुषार, they will be same, man. एक बार सोचो ना इसके बारे में, they will be same. No, क्या बोल रहे हो, right? This is 97 ना, this is 98, 99, this is 100. ठीक है, you can see that ये दोनों का सम में, ये दोनों का सम में, here you have increased one, you have decreased, like here you have increased one, right? Correct. So just by summing up all the values doesn't mean that, just by summing up all the values doesn't mean that it will be a same string. Okay, AD also summing up the same value, BC also summing up the same value. Okay, so it won't work. You need some identifier key, like this is an identifier, ATE, sorry, AET, it is an identifier, right? So AET is an identifier, correct? Because if you sort any of the values, it is producing the same thing, correct? So try to think, what data structure will you use? It's complicated. How do you do it, guys? How do you do it? Right? So what I am thinking is, just tell me if I'm correct or wrong. Like this particular thing need to identify all these things, correct? So how can I make that happen? How can I make this happen? Like ATE should be identifying this, should be identifying this, right? Should be identifying this as well, right? In the same way, A and T, okay, should be identifying this and this, right? And ABT should be identifying this. Map की तरह लग रहा है? Don't you think this is looking like a map, guys? Can you guys think कि map नहीं लग रहा है? Hello? Map of strings? No, it is a map. It's a hash map. It is a hash map of a string mapping to list of strings. Don't you agree with my statement? Guys, see, hash map ऐसे दिखने वाला है. See, one value, that will be the value, right? That will be ATE, sorry, AET, right? AET, this is wrong. AET, right? AET is the sorted value, and all the values that are producing will be in the form of list. That are present in this particular thing. Can you create something like this, guys? Like AND will be mapping to a list of TAN and NAT. ABT will be mapping to the list of BAT. How cool is that? Agar at any point, if you find any value that is giving me the same sorted value, I'll just append it here. You know how to append it, right? Just add wala function hota hai, right? List mein, you just need to add it. Correct? Correct. So every string that comes, okay? So for example, if I have a EAT, right? So EAT, I'll sort it. It is AET, right? I'll just check if EAT is present. Yes, AET is present. So corresponding value may is a list. So I'll just add EAT here. So I'll just add EAT into this list. It is really simple to add a element to a list, right? It is just add function. है ना? Add ऐसा कर दूंगा, it will be added. Okay. So this is the only thing you need to think. Okay, and this list part, right? Right. So you're mapping a string to a list. How cool is that? Till now you're just doing the integer, string, character, integer, right? Now you're mapping a string with its integer. I want you guys to brainstorm on this. ठीक है, थोड़ा सोचो इसके बारे में. How is this done? ठीक है, वो सोचोगे, it will be much clear for you. Make another array of sorted strings and pick the indices of. Yeah, you can't sort. See, in Java, strings are immutable. Okay? So I'll tell that tomorrow. Okay? So you can only change the char array. Okay? You can't sort an string. Okay? Because strings are immutable. Okay? So for that reason, you need, if at all you want to sort, okay, do it. But this question, like I've made this thing. It's not just the sorted thing that can identify. There's another thing that can identify it as an anagrams. Try to think about it. Like I told this approach, and one of the student pointed out that there is another way, which I know there's another way, but I never expected any of them like to know that way. Okay? To think of that way. Okay? And he did it. He implemented and came in the next class, and that's really great. Like that person, his name is Rajat, right? So he's from batch 14, and he like in few days before, he messaged me that he got placed at Amazon, right? And he was very thankful and all. Okay? So I'm just saying ki, like don't limit yourself with the solution I'm giving. Try to think out of the box. Try to think why this is happening, how this is happening, how this can be made in a better way. Okay? So there's another way. Try to think. I won't reveal it. I'll reveal it only tomorrow. But try to think how this can be identified instead of just a sorted string. Okay? So how this particular things can be grouped as a anagrams. सोचो, एक बार सोचो इसके बारे में. कोई आइडिया आ रहा है अभी? सोचो इसके बारे में. He implemented it, man. I'm telling. He implemented it and he brought it in the class, like on the next day. I remember it. See, we are using this, the sorted key, like sorted string as the key to identify the value. Value is list of strings, correct? Every string, uska sorted string, I'm just trying to find and I'm trying to get it, correct? Think, Arina, I won't tell you. Think about it. Yeah, how can you do it? And it will definitely reduce the time complexity. Okay? Implementation बहुत मुश्किल नहीं. It is difficult to implement it, but it is It is the most optimized approach. Then the sorting, because sorting में you're doing n log n na, n is the size of array. No, Renee, no. Create hash map for every string in the array, and fib map value is 0. Add in list for the given sorted element. Bro, try to like I'll give you a hint. Try to think about the group, like the anagram question. Okay, so try to think of in that way. Okay, I think we'll end the class. We learned a lot of questions. Okay, you guys, like I'm going at a great speed, and you guys are also able to capture and assimilate whatever I'm teaching. So it's great. Okay, so we'll stop it here. Okay, we'll continue this question. We'll continue all the questions. Do the homework. Okay, whatever the portal में जो भी होने वाला है. Try to think. Now you guys are capable enough of using the maps. Okay, DSA is not just learning the questions and listening to the lectures. It is developing the thinking. Okay, so for that थोड़ा मेहनत लगेगा. Okay, try to think now. Go. Okay, all the best. Okay, let's end the class for today. I think it's sufficient. Yeah, so and there's one other thing. Do you guys need a chutti tomorrow or not? No or yes? Oh my god. Like tomorrow is Dashara, right? People might be celebrating. I'm also right now in Telangana, so so guys, tell me, like the people who are from Telangana in Hyderabad, is there any proper place where Dashara celebration happen, guys? Not Vijayawada, man. I mean, in Hyderabad. यार कोलकाता तो नहीं आ सकता. I can open the poll. Okay, I can open the poll in Discord. Since many of the students dropped, it won't give me the actual thing. Acha, difficult in Hyderabad. Okay, then so cool. Okay, man. Good night. Guys, all these concerns about the hours, number of hours, and all these things, try to talk with the batch manager if it's possible. Okay, because we are trying this for the first time. See, we were doing the TA and the instructor thing previously. Now this is the first time we are taking everything like this by the same person. So you need to talk if you need any change. Okay, and if at all the strength is sufficient enough supporting the change, then it will be done. Okay, without that, it can't be done. Okay. Great, you guys are also like listening to it and responding to a great extent, and I really like that. Okay, so keep the space, man. Work on your own. ठीक है, अभी थोड़ा घर जाके, ठीक है, don't ignore it. Try to do this question. Try to do the homework problem, the assignment questions. ठीक है, you will be on upper hand. ठीक है. Yeah, I know Telugu. I'm a Telugu guy. Uday, it's Uday. Yeah, happy Dashra, guys. Have a good night. Okay. We can discuss tomorrow. Chalo, bye bye. Try to think of this question and try to implement if it's possible. Read lists. Okay. So reading list only, by doing that only you can do it. Yeah, good night. I'm ending the class.